Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the power, control and rebirth of those of you who have Pluto within your 11th house, but also for those of you who have the sign of Scorpio ruling your 11th house within your natal birth chart. But before we do get into this, make sure that you give this video a like if you like it. Also make sure to subscribe if you have not already, and to click that little bell icon in order to keep yourself updated with further content from myself. And one more quick thing to mention, if you would like to know more information all about your Pluto sign, your Pluto house, along with your Scorpio house and your 8th house within your birth chart, then I have created a Scorpio season/archetype ebook. So what I am going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today if you would like. Okay, so with all those introductions out of the way, Pluto in the 11th house and Scorpio ruling the 11th house individuals, let's do this. Okay, so if you have Pluto in your 11th house or the sign of Scorpio ruling your 11th, then what this suggests is that you're someone who is very, very passionate when it comes to your non-conforming ideas and concepts, and that you're willing to stand up for these ideas with a mighty vengeance. Same goes for any movements or causes that you're a part of, or even when it comes to the friendship circles that you join together within. So let's say, for example, that you hold a particular political view or opinion. You're probably going to drive that political opinion as far as you can. You might even become somewhat extreme and radical in hopes of creating profound change, where you even force your political opinions and views onto others, so much so that you might unconsciously try to control others by emotionally manipulating them into following your ideas. Or let's say, for another example here, that you're a part of a movement or a cause. You might stand by the core aims and values and objectives of that movement or cause as you refuse to back down from pursuing them. Seriously, having Pluto within the 11th house is kind of like the 11th house being on steroids, because this is essentially very intensified emotions being strongly riled up deeply by collective progression and evolution. So in your case, Pluto in the 11th house, Scorpio ruling the 11th house individuals, when you feel deep in your soul, in your core, that things need to change within society, you just might be willing to do anything within your personal power to make the changes happen. On the other hand though, maybe you have the opposite view, where you feel that certain changes should be investigated thoroughly before calling them to action. And so as certain members within society are trying to push to create changes within society one way, maybe what you do is you lean more towards the other way as you try to get to the bottom of what is really, really going on through your own analysis and research, of course. Which, following on from this point, you might not be easily fooled by what the media says, or by what the mainstream says, or by what politicians say. Maybe for you, you actually prefer to break down and dissect collective messages that are being fed to society as a whole on a daily basis, rather than following along blindly. And perhaps when you do this, maybe you're seen as a kook, maybe you're seen as paranoid, you're seen as very weird, very unusual, very destructive. Maybe you're even seen as a conspiracy theorist. Maybe you are all of these things without realizing it yourself. But regardless here, it's you, Pluto in the 11th house, Scorpio ruling the 11th house individuals, that can possess very fixed very strong and very powerful views upon society and how it functions. And there is no one coming along to change your mind on these matters. Now, like I said, there can be an extreme and radical attitude here, and an example of this behaviour could be you getting yourself involved with some sort of revolution or getting involved with an uprising. Perhaps you're the type of individual who is willing to riot in rage as you seek to destroy and tear down particular systems that you view as unjust or as unequal. Or maybe you're the type of individual who is a social reformist, where you join a movement that aims to make gradual change within society. But this is something that you stick with it, and you don't give up on the impact and the changes that you really want to make. And with the same token, you may not take this lightly. You may be very, very serious and focused upon these things. Then again, I think that you might be more rapid and more striking in your approach, or you might be a vigilante who prefers to take matters into your own hands when you notice any unfair actions of inequality or injustice. Furthermore though, maybe you're the type of Pluto in the 11th house individual who focuses much more on the darker side of the human condition. So you might focus on the power struggles, the manipulative tactics, violence, brutality, repression, domination, poverty, the violation of human rights, and the criminal activity that takes place. And what you may seek to do is you may seek to make humanity and society aware of these things. So you bring these things to light towards society. You sort of expose these areas because maybe for you, you feel as if you should, or maybe you feel as if it's your duty and responsibility to do so. On the other hand though, maybe you're the type of Pluto in the 11th house individual who exposes those who feed society misinformation in association with these subject matters. So in this respect, you're probably not afraid to go against the grain. Then again, maybe some of you would much rather keep quiet and hush hush as a way to protect yourself. I mean, it could leave you very vulnerable when you openly share your political opinions or any opinion about society today. It can be so easy to be targeted by others or labelled by others for bringing these types of things up. But even if you choose not to share your collective opinions or thoughts with society at large, or with groups of people online, for an example, perhaps you're the type of Pluto in the 11th house individual who would much rather address your own community. And so in this respect, maybe you understand that changes within society start with the individual and within the communities that they are a part of. Could very well be that you're a highly introspective individual, someone who really likes to deeply reflect upon your actions and how you as an individual do contribute to society at large. So following on from this point, maybe you're someone who possesses a great deal of self-awareness, where you do reflect deeply upon your personal power and how your personal power does contribute to that greater whole. Maybe you would much rather take a look into your own darkness, so to speak, before explaining to society the problem with society. And therefore, perhaps you're someone who seeks to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Though whether you decide to create change within society on a wider scale via media and the internet and so on, or whether you decide to create change much closer to home within your social groups, etc., and also when it comes to yourself, you do so in a way that transforms the lives of others, either for the better or for worse. However, it could also be suggested that these strong emotions, they come about due to a certain crisis or urgency that you've experienced throughout your life. So for example, maybe in the past you were bullied by certain groups of people, so you were shut out, or you felt like you were left out in the cold. Or maybe you grew up in a community that felt quite unsafe and was ridden with a lot of crime and fear. Or maybe you felt betrayed by people who you thought were your friends at some point. I mean, it could very well be that you've experienced firsthand the destruction that can occur between different groups of people. And if we were to even broaden the scope even more here, maybe you've witnessed a collection of people, such as a nation or a civilization, you know, just a larger group of individuals where you've witnessed these individuals go through some pretty dark times, pretty horrific times. And so maybe you feel a deep sense of empathy and remorse for these individuals, and you think to yourself, why them? How is it fair for a selection of people to go through such hardships like debt or tyranny or a lot of crime or violence, just for an example's sake, whilst other nations and civilizations and groups of people, they thrive and they evolve? So yeah, maybe you reflect deeply upon these types of questions. And if we were to focus on friendships specifically here, okay, like I said, maybe you felt betrayed in the past by those who you thought were your friends, possibly leading to trust issues and being super defensive and protective when choosing other friends in the future. Maybe friends have been jealous or possessive of you, or maybe they've used you for their own benefit or because they wanted to take your power, so to speak. So in this way, maybe you've observed the sheer cruelty of humans towards other humans. But whatever way this may or may not have played out, Pluto in the 11th house, Scorpio ruling the 11th house individuals, I can see how such profound experiences can potentially lead to such fixed and strong views towards society and all of its hypocritical mind games. Though that's not to say that you're free from taking part in such games yourself, because at the end of the day, we all add fuel to the fire in some shape or form, whether we are conscious of it or not. But still, maybe your emotions, they have been greatly impacted by such experiences as explained, leading to your powerful internal revolution, so to speak, as you seek to take action and create change within the world. Then again, maybe it was the death of a friend that impacted you and led to your standing up within society, such as a friend taking their own life, resulting in you joining a movement that seeks to help such individuals. Or maybe the death of this individual woke you up. Heck, maybe you find your higher purpose through helping those within society who feel as if they're in a really, really dark place. Or maybe you find your higher purpose by getting out into your communities as a way to serve and protect. Though another example could be that you find your higher purpose through a social network online amongst like-minded individuals. And seeing as we're on this point, and perhaps being in control of a group or a certain community online, it makes you feel powerful. Or perhaps creating an exclusive club online is right up your street. The type of club that discusses taboo-like subject matters and arranges private meetings amongst members, or the type of club that's quite secretive yet investigative, or the type of club that is very passionate about the things that you share in common, or about the sort of goals and aims and objectives that the club is looking to pursue. Or maybe you simply seek to be a part of a community, whether online or offline, a community that empowers you. Naturally, of course, this can also include empowering friendship circles as well. But following on from this point, you might come to find that the experiences that you encounter with such group involvements, that they are what lead to your death and rebirth moments. That the group and communities or friendship circles that you join, that they are what transform you and they help you evolve. So for example, maybe the betrayal of a friendship actually teaches you a lot about looking for loyalty, quality, value, and substance within your friendships. Or maybe by joining a certain group or a club or a movement, you start to understand the human psychology and why people act the way they do. Or maybe by addressing any past traumas or unresolved issues with groups of people or with communities, your views, they start to change and evolve, where you sort of outgrow certain ideologies that no longer serve you. Or maybe difficult and uncomfortable feelings about humanity as a whole are what unconsciously push you to seek answers from individuals who challenge your ideas and your mindset, resulting in your own ideas and understandings of humanity evolving. Don't get me wrong, these things may come with a lot of resistance and tension, along with many discussions that you and others may not want to address. This can be very complex, yes, but I think that it is you, Pluto in the 11th house, Scorpio ruling the 11th house individuals, who may be willing to get to the bottom of any unresolved emotional stagnation that might be hindering the collective from evolving. Though having said that, maybe you're a cynical person, someone who resents society for all that society has done. Maybe you're the type of person who grows bitter, filled with revenge and sinister thoughts towards anyone who blindsided you or who underestimated your power. You may possibly even look at certain organizations and resent them with a passion, so much so that you might even boycott particular companies. You could even possibly be the type of Pluto on the 11th house who isolates yourself from others because you feel like nobody can be trusted. On the other hand though, maybe you're the type of Pluto in the 11th house individual who gets your butt out there into the battlefield of life, so to speak, and you don't take no for an answer, okay? You're fueled up and you're ready to fight for social change, whilst showing at the same time a lot of empathy and compassion towards those around you. Maybe you're the type of individual who is there at the front line getting others to sign a petition, or maybe you give to charitable organizations that you trust, or maybe you even look at these types of organizations and you don't have any trust towards them at all because you're far too suspicious of them, and it's almost like you can see through the underlying messages and the hidden agendas, which you may be that type of Pluto on the 11th house individual who just sees through it all. You know, you see through the narrative being pushed. Maybe you want to expose all of the secret societies that you've been looking up and researching online, or that you hear about. Or maybe you attend protests for movements that just really matter to you. They mean so much to you. But whatever the case may be, it's you, Pluto in the 11th house, Scorpio ruling the 11th house, that probably possesses a ruthless and obsessive drive when it comes to your hopes and wishes for the future within society. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the power, control and rebirth of those of you who have Pluto within your 11th house, but also for those of you who have the sign of Scorpio ruling your 11th house within your natal birth chart. Now, if you happen to have any of these placements, then let us know what you thought of the video in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and if you would like to see more videos and content from myself and you have not yet subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button, and also make sure that you give this video a big like, remember. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!